the way they're designed, they press up against the top of the lock here that they'll get spring tension that'll push them back. The plates are here. The plates have a gap in them. We need to get the gaps all lined up, and then it will, the key, if they're all lined up, the key can move the bolt back into the gap. Okay, so just to review that, the four categories of locks that we need to be familiar with. We have the warded lock, we have the lever tumbler lock, we have the disc or wafer tumbler lock, and then we have the pin tumbler lock. In this drawing, you can see that the pins are lined up nice and even and flush with the shear line once the correct key is inserted. The bottom pins are pointed on one end as opposed to a top pin that is not. Okay, now we're looking at some top pins. These are master pins, and these are very tiny pins. So what we do is we use a follower and simply put this on the back of the plug so that it will fill that space as this connecting piece passes through that. This normally points towards the hinges. And now you can see it looks just like the lock cylinder that was inside the knob set. It doesn't have the springs on it because it's retained by the two bolts. And we have our plug filled. All we have to do is push the plug back into. You're going to have to turn the key to depress the wafer. So with this one, we put it in, the key in, turn it to 3 o'clock, depress the wafer. Now the way we get the lock out of the knob is we let this drop down. Okay, here we have a quick set lever handle lock. And again, when you approach any lock that you're wanting to rekey, look and see if there is a locking wafer, and there is. Simply put the key that you want to copy into the most key duplicators. You would put it into the left side of the left block, and the one you're going to copy, your key blank, goes into the right. You want to make sure that those are down flat against number 2 cuts all the way across the key. And then we're going to cut all the way across all number 2 cuts. Okay, the second one is 270. That's a number 7. So write that one down. Number 3, 195 was number 2. 265 was number 5, and then 240 was number 4, which we'll be using today as we rekey these locks to master key them. The number 2 cut we said was a 45 thousandths, and you can see that the pins are quite small. The lowest number is a 1, the lowest number here is 2, the lowest number here is 2. These will be the bottom pins for our lock. We want to back off the depth of our cut, and the next cut was a 5, so we move to the number 2 cut, and then we bring up turn the depth wheel to bring it up to a 5. And then our other duplex key, number 2, cut to 23344. So we have our key. Okay, here's a pretty good close-up, I think, of, you can see that these first 3 chambers are flush, and in chambers 4 and 5 our master pins are actually above the plug. They're just sitting there. If I bump it, is this jig that allows you to line up the holes on the door, get your setback just right, and also to help align the hole down the center of the door. We're going to need some chisels to cut out the recess in the door and also in the door jamb. I'm only going to drill about halfway through the door. If I drill all the way through, it will splinter out the other side of the door. And so we're going to drill about halfway through, and then we will drill from the other side. Okay, you want to hold the drill nice and straight as you can. I'm going to bring that back around this way so that I can get a little bit better grip on it. I got this. It's locked. Key out. There it is.